Good evening everyone, welcome to FGM Ecast presenting the Oz Pro Am Sim Series live. Thanks to HJ Plant Repairs. We are at Long Beach, a brand new track here on iRacing, incorporated into the Oz Pro Am Sim Series through the Americas, part of the series. And my word, are we excited to be here. Brand new circuit to iRacing, as I said, and we did mention it last week. Harks back to the start of the iRacing game that we know now, when Papyrus, the owners of iRacing, developers of iRacing, worked at Papyrus. This was one of the very first racing tracks I ever drove on in an Indy car as well. So plenty of excitement here. Lots of there's going to be lots of that tonight, with lots of tight corners. Martin Crisp, last week's race winner there, just getting a little bit of a bump on the way through. We've got a pretty full grid here tonight, no surprises there. 16 drivers on the grid for the race tonight, as you would expect. A new track, plenty of attention. Welcoming back this man as well, Jack Boyd, to the fold tonight, back indeed with Glenn Boyd as well, who did make a return last week. Summer Nicholson, Luke Bergens, Jeremy Clark, Martin Crisp, BJ Kennedy, Sam Lehman, all the usual suspects here. Matty Catallione just making his way out onto the track. Josh Perlon as well. Interestingly enough, though, we have no Corvette drivers tonight. None, zero, zilch. So, not entirely sure why that is, whether or not they are concerned. Once again, got to get the sound off for the drivers there. This is the difficulty that I'm having, but we are back into the office very, very soon. In fact, this is our last official broadcast for 2020, and as of next year we'll be back in the office with a full broadcasting setup, back to normal. So these little bits and pieces that catch me out because I'm using the computer that I race from will not happen, so looking forward to that. So a little bit of a celebration for us tonight as well, being the last broadcast for 2020. So our channel approaching a year old now. And it's been a very busy year with a very gradual wind down, and I'm very pleased to be able to bring Oz Pro Am as our last broadcast for the year. We won't be on next week, albeit Oz Pro Am will be. They will have their endurance round on, but holiday time with the family does get in the way of us doing broadcasting at this time of year. So we will not be here, but you can, if you've got iRacing, jump in and spectate the race if you do want to keep up with what's going on. There's a little clip of the wall there. There's going to be lots of that tonight. A driver like Jack Boyd can do it, just about anyone can. So be a night to try and keep your nose clean. So we're into the last few minutes of practice here. On board now with Josh Perwin. Consistent performer so far this season. Actually listed as one of the amateur drivers, but very much not an amateur in the series. So format tonight, back to the usual. We have run for the last couple of weeks. We've got a 25-minute race coming up very shortly after qualifying, which will be a 2-lap. No, sorry, my apologies. A 10-minute open qualifying session for the series. And then we will head into our first 25-minute race, followed by a small interval, about 10 minutes, and then into our 45-minute reverse grid race. And that reverse grid race is set by the race results from race 1. So do stick around for that. Thanks very much, Sven, for the like. It says there, we like you too. And a big thank you to everyone who supported the channel over the last 9 months. None more so than our channel sponsors, as well as our fantastic audience that tunes in every week. We've been very fortunate with the growth of the channel, and we haven't always been able to do everything we wanted to do this year, between COVID and all of the other things that have got in the way. But certainly pointed us in the right direction for 2021, as you can see there, a bit of a bash on the wall circuit here tonight that we're at. Very, very similar to Surfers Paradise in Australia, in that it is a concrete canyon. So rewarded for getting everything done right, but punished if you make even the slightest of mistake. In fact, it's also probably very similar to Newcastle there, and that wall is going to catch everyone out, particularly the wall there, not actually painted with any sponsorship, so very difficult to see out of the car. But Glenn Boyd, actually fastest at the moment. Well done, Glenn. 1:15.79. That's the name we like to see at the top of the charts. So, drivers here all will have had not too long to practice this track. Only released 2 weeks ago. In fact, 2 weeks ago on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it might have been 2 weeks ago on a Tuesday. But anyhow, the track that recent, as we see there, Matty Carleone just clunking the wall as well. One of the big problems, there, I'm just standing up trying to land it on the fence. One of the big problems with this track actually is that it is very deceptive, shall we say, in that a lot of the sharp left or right hand corners actually have a runoff area in front of them, and it can catch you out. If you're not familiar with the track, it can easily catch you out. So keep a look out for that. We'll bring the map up on the screen for you so you can get an idea of where we're headed. So you can see there, it's not the longest track in the world, but it certainly is a very technical track. It gets speed here. It's all about entry and exit speed so that you can make the most of the long straights either end of the technical sections of the track. On board here with Sam Lehman as he heads down the long back straight, then into a tight left-hander. Actually, sorry, that's a front straight, my apologies. You go into a tight left-hand here. There's a runoff area straight ahead, just to the right there, you can see that. With your exit from pit lane, you do need to keep very much to the right of the track. So the drivers will need to be aware of that. There will be pit stops required in the second race. And in fact, as usual, Sam Lehman, one of the series organisers, done a fantastic job for me this week in giving us some of the information about the fuel windows. One of the other big things to take into account as well is that they have actually reduced the fuel tank sizes for these cars, and what that means is that there basically is a 1 lap window for the drivers to make the 45-minute race on one stop. So drivers are either going to have to conserve, or if they go hard and attack, then they will need to fuel again. So it's going to make for potential 2-stop races for some drivers, and potentially 1-stop races for everyone else. So we are getting into qualifying now. Try and jump on board with the lead car, which I think is Simon Nicholson. No, it does look like it's either that it's Jack Boyd who's managed to get out of pit lane first. As I said, a big welcome back to Jack. He's been away for a few weeks. Certainly glad to have him back on the AUSPASS Sim Series grid here. Thanks to HJ Plant Repairs. So I did a few laps around here in the GTE in preparation, in the Porsche GTE I should say, that's on screen in preparation for this one. As I said, it's very much, particularly here, about getting the drive off the corner, getting the car out. Of course, remember this is a fixed setup category. So every Porsche and every BMW, it's a full Bavarian night tonight, is set up the same. So it then very much comes back down to how you drive the car. How do you work out how to get some pace out of it to make your qualifying speed, to make your lap speed, and to run the race. It's also going to be difficult to pass. So race strategy, important too. So with that understanding, drivers are going to need to pit around about, where are we going to say? I need to get a measure of the lap times here. I think the driver's probably only going to get about 3 flying laps in. So we'll get a full read on it here, as it is Jack Boyd. It's going to take us for our first flying lap. Let's jump on board with him and have a look at the track, so you can get an understanding of what we're talking about. And there you go. So Jack Boyd, a minute 15.74, just knocking Glenn Boyd off top position so far in qualifying. Glenn Boyd on a flying lap himself. He's not quite able to get the job done there, so still sitting in second. Got Sam Lehman currently up in third position as well. So this revised track, new track I should say, has really thrown a spanner in the works here for the drivers. So Luke Bergens just jumps up into third place. Glenn Boyd, purple sector, sector 2, just under 12 seconds for sector 2, fastest man through that sector at this stage. So it's really thrown a cat amongst the pigeons. Let's see some good mixture of results here tonight. So the car's only starting, interestingly enough, with 21 to 24 litres in it. The BMW slightly less fuel than the Porsche. So we're going to need a pit stop in both races here. The 25-minute race coming up. Cars are going to need around about 40 litres of fuel. So everyone's going to need a splash and dash. Now the thing that you can do, 40 litre tank limit, so they can jump in early, get fueled up and run through to the end of that first race, but they will require a pit stop no matter what. So it's going to throw up some challenges for them. I'll just see Glenn Boyd there jump through. Luke Bergen's gone fastest now, 15.69 in that Porsche of his. What it means is, as I said, in race 2, drivers are going to need every milliliter of fuel to get themselves home. So that's where the challenge comes in as well in that race 2. So when you pit in race 1, 25 minutes, how do you want to play it? Do you want to try and get out of the traffic that's certainly going to exist at the start? Get in nice and early, get the car fueled up to the end of the race? Or do you run a little longer and maybe do a splash and dash at the end and see how the cards fall? So right now it's unusual to see this man this far down the field. Perwin currently sitting in 14th. In fact, he's just dropped down into 15th place. Fastest lap so far, 17.64. Josh, one of the faster BMW drivers in the category. Two and a half minutes to go here. Who is going to take out this pole position? Simon Nicholson's out on a exit lap, so he's going to get one more lap in. Matty Cardleone a little bit further down than he'd be liking in 7th position in the RSR. Gordon Irons about to come across the start-finish line in the mobile liveried RSR. Able to improve on his last lap with a 16.56. Didn't jump him many places, but a faster lap as well. It's very, very close at the front. 16.14, 16.18, 16.35, 45, 56, 69, 78. Covering basically the balance of the top 10. 3 drivers in the sub-16 area. Luke Bergens, Jack Boyd and Glenn Boyd. So we've got Porsche, and then a swathe of BMWs in this all Bavarian episode of Oz Pro Am tonight from Long Beach. Of course, our man Katsunonis missing tonight. There's a couple of usuals who's dropped out. It's a busy time of the year for everyone, so not too surprised to see a few away, particularly this close to Christmas Eve. But for those who have turned up, what a track to be able to run at. Luke Bergens and Jack Boyd, cues in the rack, they are done. Glenn Boyd is still going to get one. No, he will not get that lap finished. Sam Lehman will, however, so let's stick with Sam. Needs to find half a second on his lap. Not sure he's going to be able to get it done, though. No purple sectors and no green sectors actually on this lap at all. So he might pull the pin on this as we see a rotation in the background. I fear there may be one too many replays for me to keep up with tonight as we get around here at Long Island. I think Sam's pulled the pin on this lap as well. He's going incredibly slow. So we'll jump on board with Simon Nicholson. XRC Racing had a good race last week. And that will do it. So Simon Nicholson actually came in second last week at Montreal in the feature race. So let's jump onto the grid and have a look at who is going to be doing what tonight. Let's start out front row of the grid. Familiar suspects. Luke Bergens, Jack Boyd, teammates of course, will be competing with one another off that front row. Glenn Boyd, fantastic job from him in third, with Sam Lehman equally a great result in fourth position. We've got Simon Nicholson, my apologies, and Jeremy Clark off row 3, with Matty Cardleone and Josh Perwin off row 4. We've got Gordon Irons and BJ Kennedy off row 5, with Simon Larter and Martin Crisp off row 6. Head a little bit further back down the field. It's Christopher Hughes and Justin Schweikert off row 7. And then bring up the last row of the grid is Hayden Jackson and Mike Casey for our first ever run at Long Beach. Be the first of many, I imagine. So we're just waiting for the drivers to head off here. It's the view from Simon Nicholson's BMW. So he's just waiting there. You can see how close everything is here at Long Beach. Walls everywhere. He's got a nice view back to Matty Cardleone. He'll be piling on the pressure early on in the race. I'm just waiting for that pace car there to head off. Looks like we're about to make a move. Looking out of the back of Jack Boyd's car. Onto our main view there as the safety car just gets a little bit lost. But it is going to be a frantic 25-minute start here. Remember, we are looking for early pit stops. Martin Crisp, Simon Nicholson, Luke Bergens, the finishing order in our final race last week. So look out for those drivers as we get involved here. Giving a nice wide berth there. Almost too wide a berth there from Glenn Boyd. And we do have contact at that first hairpin. Drivers just trying to make their way around there without running into everyone. The field's holding. We're just waiting for it to go green. Had the green flag. They're holding up, I think, for everyone to bunch back up again. They're going to go on the start-finish line. And we're off and racing here at Long Beach for the first time. It is Luke Bergens who's got a great run off the start. It's going to get plenty wide down here. I'll try and keep an eye on the field, see if everyone can make their way through turn 1. And they do that rather cleanly. Actually, there's some good driving there from everyone to make sure that we get through. I'm on board with Sam Lehman. Hayden Jackson looks like he's had an issue at the start of the race. Stick on board here with Sam Lehman is Luke Bergens, Jack Boyd, Glenn Boyd, Simon Nicholson, Sam Lehman, Jeremy Clark, Matty Cardleone, Josh Perwin, Gordon Irons and BJ Kennedy rounding out your top 10. So we've had a very, very clean start here from everyone. It's good driving. So we head around. We're going to get to the hairpin for the first time tonight. Let's bring that track map up. It's been a long day for me, talking for most of it. Things flat out, but seeing set a good, consistent start here from everyone. This is where it's going to start to get a little tight. So watch for everyone bunching up here for the slowest part of the track. And there is a big spin in the background there. It looks like Josh Perwin, is it? Got lifted up a little bit. Oh, and we've got a bump there. And Matty Cardleone's in. That's going to cause a traffic jam. And it has. I think Matty's caught there under Josh Perlin. Fair bit of damage to those cars. They've got to pit early. And Josh Perlin does exactly that. So he will get his car repaired and get back on with the act. And he will fuel that up to the end as Luke Bergens even, and Jack Boyd get underway to try and make a gap at the front of the field. Jack Boyd just half a second behind at the moment. He got a good gap back to Glenn Boyd, a second already. Simon Nicholson behind him. Sam Lehman still in fifth. Jeremy Clark, Gordon Irons, Kennedy and Lata, along with Christopher Hughes, rounding out our top 10 at the end of lap 1. So Matty Carleone's come out of pit lane. My apologies, that's actually Martin Crisp who's come out of pit lane. Josh Perlin just making his way out of pit lane now as well. Instead of drivers using as much of the track as possible. A couple of those BMWs just getting on the gas a little bit early. Throttle control very important here. And lap 2. If you are in the stream, drop in, say hello. Have to interact with the crowd as well. Matty Carleone deciding that he does need to get his car repaired. I'm not surprised after the amount of damage there. Looks like it might have been Glenn Boyd there. Just going off in the background. Let's open the gap up to Simon Nicholson. Sam Lehman still there. Glenn Boyd managing, I think, to get away with that one. Yeah, a little bit of damage on the front corner of that BMW. Just see it there, left-hand front corner. So hopefully not too much damage that he can't keep going. Certain amount of sense here in getting out of this traffic, getting things underway. Get your pit done early. They're all going to have to file through pit lane at some stage. Get it out of the way in the early part of the race when the traffic is heaviest. Jack Boyd, fastest man last time around, has done a 15.9. So first of the drivers to dip into the 15s. Luke Bergen's just away from it. 8/100ths. So basically nothing. Christopher Hughes was just got a notification. He has had an incident. Look at this here. Maybe just clipping the wall. Yeah, just on the exit there. Ooh, and that is as hard as this place can bite, unfortunately. So back live now on board with Jack Boyd. As he continues to pursue Luke Bergens at the head of the field. Gordon Irons jumps into pit lane. He'll be doing his pit stop, fueling that up to the end. Minutes to go. It's going to be very, very full for these guys trying to get through this without bumping into the walls. But so far, Luke Bergens, Jack Boyd managing to do just that. Now there is 2 100ths between them for the battle for the fastest lap of the race thus far. Hughes there just pulls up into his pit box to get that done. It's a long stop for Hughes. I'd say that he has used his... Oh no, he's on his way out now, so he did get that repaired. Would he use his fast repair there? Luke Bergen's just opening up a gap now. 1.2 seconds over Jack Boyd. Simon Nicholson here still in third. About 2 seconds further back than the red. You can just see him there. Two red Porsches. Bergens and Boyd in front of him. So I can just hear some bashing and crashing going on. I'm not getting any notifications though, so I reckon that's people clipping the walls, but not suffering too much from it. Sam Lehman's still running in 4th position, where he started. We'd be reasonably happy with that on such a new track. Not had too many big movers and shakers yet. Obviously, pit stops still to come here. Jeremy Clark being pursued by Glenn Boyd. The gap there just half a second. It's going to be terribly difficult for people to make passing moves here, I think, tonight. The best opportunity probably down into this left-hander here. You can see Jeff Glenn Boyd. Oh no, he's going around. Hopefully he keeps it clean. Does just manages to get that done. Get it back around. I'd say that is probably one of the better passing spots. You got to be careful on the exit here as well, not to clip that wall. That's what we were talking to about in the warm-up session. That white wall is very difficult. Can easily get lost in your vision. But that gives Jeremy Clark some reprieve. As everyone now sort of just settles a little bit. As I said, we will have a round of pit stops coming up. Probably about 8 minutes to go or so, I'd say. See that flurry start. About making sure you get that fuel number as accurate as you can for the refuel. You don't want to be wasting any time sitting at pit lane. Bergen's just built a handy little gap here. Okay, so already starting to see these first pit stops. 13 minutes in. So it'll get the guys home from here in this race. But not so much in the main race. So they've just done a very short fuel. There's going to be a very tight exit for them. So they almost leave pit lane as one vehicle. Not sure how that's going to work out for them when they actually get out of pit lane. Very unusual. I've not seen that before on iRacing at all. With the two cars overlapping one another, even on the track, while still in the pit lane. Wouldn't have been on the, needed to be on the limiter there, so be careful of underbody damage on those Porsches as well, using the riffle strips that aggressively. So Simon Nicholson now entering into pit lane. I imagine Sam Lehman will probably do the same. Yep, and Jeremy Clark. So Glenn Boyd, unfortunately, goes around again, so he's jumped into pit lane. He'll use his fast repair, get that thing fixed up. Tell you what, it looked like BJ Kennedy. They're flying into pit lane. We'll have to see whether or not he gets a drive-through for that. He was certainly on it. Justin Schweikert in. So this will start to restore the order normal. Simon Larder deciding that he is going to run a little longer into the stint. There's a 14-second gap here now between Lata and Boyd. 44.8. The fastest pit lane transit time, which was from Jack Boyd. That's what allowed him to make up that gap. So it's just a little quicker on the entry. A little less time in the box taking fuel as well. As Lada jumps into pit lane as well. Last of the drivers to get that pit stop done. Will be just a splash and dash. There comes our now race leader Jack Boyd. Luke Bergen's not too far behind him. Very close to the wall there. So we look at a few of the different camera angles that are available to us on this new track. This caps off a fantastic year of new iRacing content. Oh. There's just one Matty Carlione there, clouding the wall. Good news for him is he will get to start towards the front of the field for the reverse grid race too. So 7 minutes left, the gap between these two now. Just under 3/4 of a second. I think that without a mistake, Jack will probably hold Luke out here. Fantastic camera angles that we've got access to now. Simon Nicholson still in third. A little bit close further back, however. Jeremy Clark, Sam Lehman still battling away here. It's the battle for 4th and 5th. And in fact, Martin Crisp now under attack from Glenn Boyd with his repaired car. Crispy, of course, our race winner last week in Montreal. You see how slow that hairpin is, particularly with the entry to it. Car's off camber, trying to change direction in the car, out rotating it, getting it pulled up as well. So a very technical part of the circuit. And Jack Boyd now. Let's just put in the fastest lap of the race, 15.85. Ever so slightly, just opened up the gap to Bergens. It doesn't look like much, it's because it's not. Jack Boyd, very skilled driver, actually up in nearly the 7,000 territory for iRating. Luke Bergens 6,000, so two strongest drivers in the field, followed by Josh Perwin, just under 5,000. So may not mean a lot, but it takes a lot of work, a lot of good driving wins against stronger drivers to improve your iRating to that level. Oh no, there it is. Jack Boyd has collected that right-hand front wheel on the wall. That has allowed Luke Bergens to jump on and take that position. Nicholson not too far behind him now either. He dirtied himself for that. Just slightly misjudged the corner, ran it a little bit wide. And again, as I said, this place, really no margin for error. Matty Carlioni there in front of your picture. Car looking a little bit worse for wear. He'll be well positioned for the second race. So Matty Carlioni there going straight ahead. So it's very, very easy to do around here. This will be the last lap of the first race here at Long Beach. So by FGME cast, HJ Plant Repairs. Congratulations to Luke Bergens. Taking out the win, followed by Jack Boyd, Simon Nicholson. With the exception of that small amount of damage as well. A pretty smooth sailing race for these three drivers. That is your 1, 2 and 3 there. Luke Bergens, Jack Boyd, Simon Nicholson. For race 1 of this evening's affair. And it will be a reverse grid race 2, which will actually see Mike Casey and Christopher Hughes off front row of the grid. Followed by Hayden Jackson and Matty Carlioni. So watch for some fireworks in race 2. These gentlemen going to have to work their way through from the rear of the field. And going to be difficult to do that from here. Fuel strategy is definitely going to play a part in race 2. As we head into the 10-minute warm-up session between races, so we're going to duck away and take a break for that warm-up session, and we'll be back with you at the start of the 45-minute reverse grid race that will be coming up very shortly. So don't go too far away. We'll be right back with more in a moment. Okay, we're back. So we're going to bring you race 2 here, 45-minute reverse grid race. Let's jump in and have a look at the grid for what is sure to be an exciting, if not first half full race. We've got Mike Casey, Christopher Hughes off row 1 with Hayden Jackson, Matty Cartaglione off row 2. Watch out for Cartaglione on his way through here. Gordon Irons, Josh Purwin equally will be a hard charger off row 3. Justin Swikert and Simon Lightner off row 4. BJ Kennedy row 5 with Glenn Boyd alongside him. He'll be looking to make amends. Martin Crisp row 6 with Sam Lehman next to him. As we head back to the balance of the grid. Come on, let's get it done. Here it is. Jeremy Clark, Simon Nicholson, followed by Jack Boyd, and of course, race 1 winner, even Luke Bergens. Alright, let's get it started. Let's jump on board. You know what we're going to do? Again, it's a night for first here tonight. Let's do something different as well. I'm going to start the race from inside Matty Cartaglione's car. Currently running actually up into third. Josh Purwin not gridding up for this race. Neither Mike Casey. And there was a little bit of rough and tumble a little bit further back in the field. Nicholson, Clark, Lehman, Boyd, Bergens, Boyd, Crisp, Kennedy and Irons. And we've got green flag Oh, and two have charged away here. I believe they're not supposed to race until they cross the start-finish line, so our plan didn't really work. Let's jump on board instead with Luke Bergens, who's running through from the back of the field. See what happens from back here early in the race. Oh, wow! I can tell you what's happened. There's been a huge pile-up. Absolutely massive pile-up. Going into turn one, there's going to be more accident damage here unless they're careful. Boyd, Bergens, Lehman, Kennedy, all coming to damage there in the early part of the race. That will not be part of the plan whatsoever. There's a front bumper bar missing there as well. I think Simon Nicholson's BMW. Damage everywhere, but it is Hayden Jackson leading at the moment. Get through a couple of laps and I'll just make a note of that event there and we'll bring that back up for you. So we're looking here. About 60 litres for the BMW, 63 for the Porsche. Starting out with 24 litres, so about a third of the way of the race through. Going to go in and fill up in the Porsche. Hayden Jackson taking advantage where he can. Got a few in pit lane already. Crisp, Nicholson, Kennedy. I think Bergens is deciding to push on with the damage that he sustained. Big issue in the background there for Matty Cardleone, just managing to get through. Struggling with some drive out of the corner. It's a bump on the tyre wall there. Justin Schweikert in pit lane as well. Christopher Hughes taking advantage there. Matty Cardleone now all over the back of Hayden Jackson. Gordon Irons right behind him as well. The early incident has really opened the race up here. Anyone's at this stage. Jack Boyd still trying to make his way past Jeremy Clark. We did say earlier on in the coverage, oh, he's going to get the job done there. Good work. But did say earlier on in the coverage, the issue here is going to be getting opportunities to pass that hairpin. Not a bad one, particularly if someone runs wide. You just saw Jeremy Clark do there as well. It very much opens the door for the pass. Now the defence has to be good here. Down into turn one. Able to get it done there. Jack Boyd runs a little wide there. Still managing to get through the exit, but Jeremy Clark not letting him go. You have to try and create a gap. So he now tries to hunt down Simon Lata. So Matty Cardleone, Hayden Jackson looks like he's had an issue. He's fallen down through the field. He's got quite a bent rear wing. on that Porsche of his. Some damage to the right-hand front corner of the car as well. So that puts Matty Cardaleone up into second place. And it looks like Christopher Hughes might have had an issue there as well. It's a little slow getting out of that corner, but he is of XRC Racing. And once again, we've got an XRC Racing team car leading, third different driver from that team leading a race in this series in the last 2 weeks. And we'll be looking to make progress. Hayden Jackson's run through pit lane. He's got a full tank of fuel in that car, and he'll be back out again with a few repairs, we believe. So 37 minutes, things have settled down a little bit here. Luke Bergen's deciding that it is a good time to jump into pit lane. Also Glenn Boyd having a crash there. Just trying to bring up that start again and have a look at what happened. So we're going to jump on board with Glenn Boyd. I was just getting that organised in the background there. Glenn Boyd in the middle of the pack there, you can see as we head down towards... Oh no! Innocent party there. So it actually looks like it might have been maybe Martin Crisp. No, Martin Crisp just getting away with it, to be brutally honest. He very, very lucky to not be involved in that one. BJ Kennedy, in fact, it was. So, innocent bystander there, Luke Bergens, at the start of the race. And as a consequence of that, he's got a lot of work to do. Glenn Boyd currently in 8th. Matty Cardaleone jumping in pit lane. So a number of the drivers jumping in early to get the fuel needed. I'm quite sure this early is going to get it done. Where are we? 36 minutes to go. 45-minute race. So we'll see whether or not that works for them. I'm sure they've run the race offline and practiced when they need to pit. Just trying to work out these pit numbers here. Schweiker off Drop down the order a few spots as well. Jack Boyd now up into third. Doing a low 116. Gordon Irons actually keeping pace at the moment with Jack Boyd. Boyd a little quicker, so he will catch him on this trajectory, but it'll be in a few laps. Now up on the back, 15.88, Jack Boyd, fastest lap we've seen tonight, in fact. As Glenn Boyd jumps into pit lane to get his first service done. This is the battle for the lead. Oh, wow. Big move across the inside there from Christopher Hughes. As we're now 3 wide. Oh, not a lot of room there either. It's going to get hung out to dry, and he does. Oh, wow. Oh, this is a huge couple of taps there. Oh, and they've jumped into pit lane. I thought they would turn around there. See that cheeky little entry to pit lane just there. It's meant that Christopher Hughes has managed to get away with that small mistake. Jack Boyd from there will need to manage fuel. He will not make it to the end, I don't think. He actually may, if he can probably manage his fuel to the end, he will make it. It's going to be close though. So keep an eye on that one. See how that develops. We'll certainly be hoping to make it to the end. .30 to go here. So Christopher Hughes now in pit lane. Simon Larder is the same. Sam Lehman now our effective race leader. So Simon Nicholson in the lead here, still to do his final stop. Jack Boyd in third. He's done his pit on lap 10. We think he may be fueled to the end here. Just gonna have to have a listen to see if he is fuel saving or not. Jack Boyd just goes fastest through Sector 1 for the race. He does currently hold the fastest lap. Notification there of a Luke Bergen's moment. So I can have a quick look at that. So he's just going to run wide. Is he here? Yeah. Slide right back and just a little bit of a tap there. Hey Lukey, thanks for the like, mate. As we head back live now with race leader Simon Nicholson. So he did pit on lap 1. He will not get home from there. He will have to make a short fuel stop at the end. Maximum capacity set on the BMW to 40 litres, needing 59 to get home with some fuel saving. So even if he did put that 2 laps worth back in at the start, he's still going to have to make a pit stop in the next few laps, one would imagine. Matty Cardellini pitted on lap 6. He's the same. He's going to need another stop to get through to the end. Jack Boyd, the only one who may make it. So just waiting to see who's going to blink first. This going to be Matty Cardellini or Simon Nicholson. Jack Boyd, Gordon Irons, Jeremy Clark we think are fueled to the end. Luke Bergens no. Christopher Hughes maybe. Only ones that are definite are Lata, Crisp and Schweikert. Schweikert a lap down at the moment, so he's got a fair bit of work to do. He's going to take it home. Getting a bit dull here. So there's Sunsetters. Oh, Cardellini gets a little bit crossed up on the entry there. Using all the curb. Oh, and a little bit of a clip of the tyre wall there. No damage done though. Slow right down. He's into pit lane now. Very, very fast entry into pit lane there from Matty Cardellini. He's going to jump in and get his stop done. Jump back on board now with Jack Boyd, who is still being pursued by Jeremy Clark and Gordon Irons. Luke Bergens up into 5th. He's just done the fastest lap of the race, 16:03. care of business. So Jack Boyd into pit lane. He's getting his final stop done now. It's going to be a very short one. And he's off and running. So what does that tell us? It tells us that Jeremy Clark will not make it to the end. Jack Boyd's not going to get there. Clark won't get there. Irons won't get there. Bergens won't get there. Christopher Hughes, he won't get there. So at the moment, the only person who will is this man, Simon Nicholson, who's done his 2 stops. Lap 22 was his last stop. He's got 15 minutes to go. He is fueled to the end and capable of taking out the win here. So our effective race leader at the moment currently sits in 6th position. Jack Boyd, Matty Cartaglione might have done the drive of the night so far. He's actually, I think, sitting in effective 3rd position now. Albeit at the moment in 9th on your list as you're looking at it. But with that effective change with the pits, that's where I think we're going to see him pop up. BJ Kennedy drops into pit lanes. That moves Cardleone up one more spot into 8th. Glenn Boyd harassing the back of Nicholson now. And he's got a fair gap. He's 10 seconds up the street from Jack Boyd. Jeremy Clark at the moment, the race leader. He last stopped on lap 11. Numbers tell us he will not get home without another pit. It must be soon as well. 13 minutes to go. Simon Marta's come a cropper. There goes Luke Bergens in the background. He's in pit lane for his final stop. It's only going to be a quick one for him. Probably around about 42 seconds transit, we expect. So that will move Christopher Hughes, who's gone into pit lane as well. So it'll move Simon Nicholson up into 3rd position. Bergens on his way down pit lane. Hughes on his way down pit lane. Here comes Jack Boyd. So he's going to move his way up. He'll get up over Luke Bergens as well. So he's now up into 5th. Matty Cardleone, is he going to get through? Yes, he does. So I think we're spot on the money here. Glenn Boyd's going to need to pit again. And most certainly Jeremy Clark and Gordon Irons will. So Simon Nicholson in the box seat at the moment to potentially take this out for XRC. That'll be 2 weeks in a row for them. Top step of the podium in the feature race of the evening. But we'll keep our eyes firmly fixed to Jeremy Clark at this stage. Looking for when he's going to jump into pit lane. Get his final stop done for the evening. It's not going to be this lap. Hayden Jackson in pit lane at the moment on his way out. It's got a long pit lane transit actually. Obviously not Spa. The endurance pit lane at Spa is, I think, the longest in the world. So Simon Nicholson actually the fastest man on track at the moment as well, with a 16.3 last time around. Team XRC have done really well in this series, actually been quite strong against some good competition too, so So just trying to hear here if Jeremy Clark is actually saving fuel. Got 7 minutes to go. Pit on lap 11. Good nines on lap 10. Glenn Boyd even lap 9. So the BMW able to take on a little bit more fuel, but numbers still dictate that it's going to be very close to the limit for them. Difficult place to fuel save as well. Still no pit. Any of the lead drivers, certainly gone the furthest. Just looking for the furthest other BMW driver. So Glenn Boyd just loses a position to Jack Boyd, maybe knowing that he's going to need to do that pit stop. Not bothering to fight, or in fact, if he is fuel saving, to try and run it to the end. See the gap's already opened up while there. Jack Boyd definitely fueled to the end. Simon Nicholson also fueled to the end. So I'll stick with our race leader at the moment. 5 minutes to go. As Gordon Irons jumps into pit lane, as he did pit on lap 10. So will Jeremy Clark follow suit? And Boyd has done his final pit stop. So Jeremy Clark here, he's got a 31-second lead, so he actually can save fuel. The question is, how much does he need to save? I'm going to jump back on board with him again and have another listen. So he very much needs to short shift. It doesn't look like he's doing that. With a 47-second pit lane transition, he will not make it through pit lane. He'll come out in around about 7th place. There's that wall we've mentioned a couple of times during the broadcast. Oh, very close there as well. A little touch of the wall there. And he is now into pit lane. So he's going to pop out a little bit further down the way. That's going to make this man our race leader. Simon Nicholson, he's got Jack Boyd all over him. A big flash of the headlights there from Jack, so it's on. 45 minutes of racing, and it's going to come down to this. Minute 28 to go. We're going to get 2 more laps. Boyd not quite able to get it done there. Jeremy Clark re-emerges in 3rd spot. It's a good result. Seconds to go, so this will be the last lap, and I think they're going to make it through. 15 seconds to go, so it's all down to Jack Boyd whether or not he can get it done here. Simon Nicholson defending, making consecutive wins for XRC. 6 seconds, 5 seconds, this will definitely be it. As they charge to head across the start-finish line. I don't think we received the flag there, so there may be 1 lap to go. Yeah, so we're going to get 1 more lap here. So the pressure will be on. It's a terribly difficult place to get a pass. At this stage, Simon Nicholson defending well. And you get the checkered flag here. We go round the hairpin. And it will be Simon Nicholson who's going to take out the win. Great result for XRC there. Jack Boyd in 2nd, and Jeremy Clark, great drive from him as well. He's going to bring home 3rd place. So that's going to bring the end to things tonight. Simon Nicholson, XRC, bringing home the win there. We've got Jack Boyd in 2nd place in his return to the series. followed by Jeremy Clark in third. A really good result for all of them. So just wait for them to jump in and join us. So this is our last stream for 2020. And we've got a lot of plans for 2021 coming your way. We're launching those into the new year. Including a name change, actually. So the channel will be rebranding to Ferguson.gg in 2021 as we broaden our offering. And there'll be plenty coming up on that across our social media channels, so do look out for that as we move, not away from iRacing, but certainly to increase or broaden our offering across iRacing and a number of other games and events that we've got planned for the new year. So we do have to, we've got the opportunity to give a massive shout out to everyone that's helped us make this possible in 2020. First and foremost to my family and my dear wife for her understanding while we go through the process of getting everything here up and started and running. Our supporters as well, with the guys at AFTERSHOCK PC jumping on board straight away with us when we did approach them, and as well the guys at Virtual Motorsport mentor Chris Purnell. We are joined actually by Simon Nicholson, race winner here for race 2 at Long Beach. Simon, great race. Managing to take home the bickies?
Yeah, it was pretty hectic at the start there for the feature race.
Yeah, absolutely. With
and zagging all over the racing line, you're just trying to make it clean into turn 1, but something happened.
Yeah, there was a big pile up there, which actually was caused by some braking issues. It's probably the best way to say it. So a couple of innocent parties getting involved in that, unfortunately, but managing to make your way through and probably play the pit strategy game really well. Managing to get through to the end there, a couple of guys jumping in the pits late, and just moving your way through there, having to defend from Jack on those last few corners.
Yeah, I thought I'd pit early and fix the damage and get out of the traffic so I could just put in quick, clean laps all the time, and I knew guys would be stuck in traffic, getting held up all the time. So, yeah, I think it worked in my favour. I thought maybe I threw it all away there near the end when I forgot about the braking zone and had to reverse up. But yeah. And
obviously being able to improve on last week's feature race as well, where you brought home second. Oh, sorry, my apologies. You brought home, second as well last week in the feature race. So managing to move into first place this week.
Yeah, it was a good outcome for sure. All the other XRC guys did good as well, and unfortunately they had some bad luck in this race, but I'll come back strong next time.
Yeah, absolutely. So XRC there, consecutive race wins with Martin taking out a feature race last week, and of course yourself this week. So good progress for the team.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, keep continuing on and hopefully doing well.
So I'm not sure that we're going to be joined by anyone else tonight, which is all well and good. So at this stage, anyone who you want to reach out to and say thanks for support?
Yeah, just want to thank XRC, Learn Setup, Simcore, RC Maker, and Track Racer. So yeah, just thanks to all them guys and for all the help they do.
No worries at all. So that'll be it, and we will see you. We're not on next week. You guys are, but we're not broadcasting. This is our last one, so we will see you in the new year when we head to Oran Park, actually, for the first of the races in Australasia, which will be interesting for us to cover, I think, with the Audi which is going to be a very, very intense 2 races, I think. So we will see you there, Simo.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Sorry, I just got cut out.
No, you're right. No
Yeah,
dramas at
see
all.
at the next track should be good. Do some practice for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a fun one, I think.
Cheers.
So as I was just saying, that brings us to an end for 2020 on FGM eCast. So we were just thanking the sponsors. Obviously, in terms of sponsors for Oz Pro Am Sim Series, thank you to HJ Plant Repairs for their continued support of this race. To Maddie and Sam who put all this together as well. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to broadcast throughout 2020. And obviously looking to continue that into 2021 when the series heads through until about the 5th of February. So, from us at FGM eCast, hopefully you have a safe and very festive season with your family and friends, and to those of you who can, catching up with your family after a challenging year and a safe New Year's. We will be back on the first Tuesday in January, which I believe is the 5th of January, with Oz Pro Am Sim Series. And then the following week, we get into our Wednesday night truck series with the guys as well. So we've got a few things starting early in the year, and then we will get into our full calendar as the year progresses. So plenty coming up from us. Do watch out for our announcements across the socials across the next 2 or 3 weeks. And from all of us here at FGM eCast, we hope you have the most fantastic of festive periods. Thanks very much, Jill. We wish you the same as well. It's great to have you tune in as always. Take care, everyone, and we